Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3 for Marketing 300. And it is time for us this week to do something a little different. And that is, we're going to do our first team discussion. You'll notice that there is a link on your Blackboard page called Group. Evidently, Blackboard likes group. I like teams. So teams and groups basically mean the same thing. What I've done is simply divide the class into 8 teams, 5 people per team. We have 40 people on our roster, so the math was very easy. And you'll be working with 4 other people. This week, your job will be to discuss the ethics case in chapter 4. So what you'll be doing is to follow the guidelines that I have for you. I've used team discussions online like this for a number of years, and they seem to work pretty well. The 5 of you certainly can talk to one another. In fact, when you go to your team page or group page, you will find that there are Blackboard tools there for you to use, and one of them is the discussion board. And so what you'll need to do is to have one person set up the discussion board for this ethics situation from chapter 4 discussion. Just one person. You're all going to be using the same discussion board, but you'll need to set it up. So have someone in the team go to the discussion board and create one for discussion 1, chapter 4, however you wish to identify it. And then during the week, each of you will have the opportunity to make a post at the beginning of the week. I think actually it's identified as be sure and have it done by Thursday. There are 5 of you. You can talk to one another relative to setting up a schedule. Maybe there are some factors that I'm not aware of that you want to, as a team, decide, well, let's make sure that we get our initial post done by Tuesday or Wednesday, but typically by at least Thursday. It gives everybody a chance to review the case, the situation. It's identified there. I believe it's on page 102 in chapter 4. I have it identified in Blackboard for us. I just can't find it real quickly myself. It's just a short scenario dealing with an ethics issue. Read the guidelines. There's a key to how to write a good response. And in essence, what you want to do is to provide your analysis of the situation, consider the factors that are there, identify the ethical issue, look at the AMA's standards of ethics, and make some decisions regarding what you see as the key points, what you see as ethical or unethical behavior, that type of thing like that. So each of you do an original post. Then, following the original post, each of you then will want to respond to each other's original post. So you write your original post, and then you'll be writing a response to each of the 4 other people that are in your group to their original post. And then you can respond to one another if you want to do that, that type of thing like that. Then, towards the end of the week, certainly by Sunday night, you'll want to then write a kind of concluding summary, final thoughts type of post for this particular case. And generally speaking, people start to look at it in terms of what they saw in terms of the posts from other students and their team, any reconsiderations, any thoughts that you want to share to show that whatever insight you've developed from doing this particular analysis. So that's what you'll do. Again, it's asynchronous. You all can be doing this obviously at different times, but there's no reason why the five of you can't talk with one another as well if you want to look at scheduling this yourself. That way you can avoid I made my post early and then I keep going back and so hasn't made their post yet and you're waiting for them and so on. So if you want to coordinate this a little bit as a team, you're certainly welcome to do that. We're going to do 4 of these during the semester. This will be our first. It's evaluated on a 10-point scale. It's kind of a holistic approach that I take to it. I look at it, consider the factors that I kind of mentioned to you, and they're written down in that page, the group page, and also in the weekly course modules. When you get to that point this week, that's also included there. So you can kind of see the things that I'm looking for. What we're trying to avoid is just someone simply looking at the situation and say, well, if it were me, I would do this. And that's just because I don't see anything unethical about that. And it would also help me look good with the boss, something of that nature. Just about anyone from about the 7th grade on could write that kind of response. So we want more than that. We want consideration of the ethical issues. The evaluation that I'm going to do doesn't make any difference to me personally, whether you say I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. That'll be up to you. What I'll be looking for then is your analysis of that situation to show me that you've made the considerations that you should make, that you've considered ethical standards, that type of thing like that. Some of you I know are working, and maybe your company has a set of standards of ethical conduct that you use, or maybe your profession does. And you're certainly welcome to bring that kind of information in as well. So this is, in essence, an attempt that I use in my courses to ensure that we consider ethical situations and talk about ethics and consider ethics relative to the kinds of practices that marketers are normally engaged in. So that'll be something that we do this week. It's a little different than what we've done before, but at the same time, it allows us that chance to provide our own input, our own consideration, our own thinking, and certainly looking at what kind of support we think we can build by taking this particular course of action. So here we are, week 3, and we're going to do our first team ethics discussion. So you're now a member of one of the teams with 4 other people. Again, I did it alphabetically, very simply, and you will be doing this again in a few more weeks. We do 4 throughout the semester. So that's something we're doing this week, a little different. Also, I would remind you that this week we're doing 2 chapters, chapters 3 and 4. So there'll be 2 practice quizzes instead of 1 like we normally have. And you'll have just 1 discussion question for this particular module. I've sent you an email announcement, and if you haven't seen it yet, then you may want to look at it because I've attached my feedback for Module 1 discussion. And I was just thoroughly impressed. As a class, you did a terrific job responding to Module 1's discussion question. And so I wrote down some thoughts and some ideas and so on and shared them with you. They're also on our Blackboard page. If you go to, I believe it's under the first weekly folder, and you can see a little bit about what I had to say, how I evaluate them, a little rubric that I use it in the sense, again, of I typically do holistic grading. Most of these things are 10 points, and I can look at them pretty carefully, knowing I'm considering this, and this, and then we'll take it as a whole. So In some particular cases, someone may, for example, have a particularly cogent, well-written kind of response, but have a few errors, perhaps with writing, grammar, whatever the case may be. And instead of trying to separate those out too much, again, I'll look at the entire entry, the entire post, and look at it relative to a holistic approach to that particular grade. So here we go, week 3. I hope things are going well for you. I've looked at the Connect scores. Most of you are doing very well with those, and certainly your Module 1 discussion, the scores were very good with that. We're moving quickly now in week 3, again, doing chapters 3 and chapter 4, and then that puts us in a position to be doing our first test next week over chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll talk more about that later. So I wish you the best this week. Be sure and let me know if you have any questions. Certainly you could use the discussion board Ask the Professor. Some of you have done that. And again, if it's something you would prefer just to address to me, we'll be happy to see that, and we'll try to respond as quickly as possible. So I wish you the best. Have a good week 3.